Bracing for chaos. The NYPD is ordering all personnel to report for duty Friday after a Hamas terrorist leader called for a day of anger and sacrifice,
telling Muslims to take to the streets across the world and protest against Israel.
Security in New York is already ramping up. There are heavily armed officers stationed at New York's Grand Central Station and the Port Authority bus terminal. Tomorrow, the streets will be teeming with uniformed officers. All uniformed members of the service in every rank have been called up, according to an NYPD memo. Be prepared for deployment.
There's been a lot of internet traffic that is giving concern to law enforcement authorities.
The war in Israel has become a flashpoint on the nation's college campuses. The students here at Brooklyn College say they're protesting the siege of the Gaza Strip, but they're saying nothing about the barbarity of what Hamas did in Israel that has shocked the world to its core. Students at the University of Wisconsin appear to be in full support of the carnage inflicted by Hamas.
We will liberate the land!
At the University of North Carolina, it got ugly when pro-Israel students crashed a pro-Palestinian rally.
How students can have so little empathy and recognition of the vile terrorism that resulted in the atrocities.
Perhaps the most outrageous statement comes from Students for Justice in Palestine at Tufts University in Massachusetts. They actually praised the creativity of Hamas for sending in a fleet of paragliders to attack Israel. Donald Trump is under fire today for calling Hezbollah, the Lebanese-based terrorist group attacking Israel from the north, very smart.
And they said, gee, I hope Hezbollah doesn't attack from the north because that's the most vulnerable spot. I said, wait a minute. You know, Hezbollah is very smart. They're all very smart.
Ron DeSantis blasted Trump on X. It is absurd that anyone, much less someone running for president, would choose now to attack our friend and ally Israel, much less praise Hezbollah terrorists as very smart.
This new information coming in is extremely disturbing.
Today, Israel released images of the youngest victims of the Hamas attack. One CNN anchor struggled to maintain composure as she described them.
The three photos that are being released show two babies whose bodies have been burned. I know Hamas has denied beheading children, but they certainly cannot deny what is on video, what is in photos, and what people have seen with their own eyes.
All right, Shalom. All praises, glory, honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem HaKodash. Peace and double honor to the apostles and elders of GMS that give us his truth and all the spirituality. And salutations to all you occupants pushing this word throughout the four corners of the earth. This is sincerity and the truth. I'm the brother Yahusap. And as you can see in this lesson, you know, you have these protests going on between the fraudulent JEWS and the Palestinians, you know, the Arabs, you know, all over the earth. You got these protests, and some of them have turned violent, you know, where they done fought each other, you know, try to take each other's heads off. And, you know, I believe through the spirit, you know, well, this is me speaking as a man, you know, say, you know, oh, it ain't happening, the false prophet. Well, you know, this is me speaking as a man. I believe the elites are using that situation, you know, these protests to bring about more chaos, you know, to bring about chaos, to bring about this Third World War. Things are going to keep intensifying. And as you see in the videos, one of the videos I played, you have the head, former head of Hamas. He called for protests around the world, against JEWS and non-Muslims. So they're using that, they finger popping the shit out of this narrative, this anti-Semitism narrative, and if you say, anything against Israel, you criticize anything they do, automatically you're a terrorist and anti-Semitic. That's what the head of the Anti-Defamation League said 2 days ago. And, he's a so-called JEW himself, so of course he would say that, but you see in the news, they pin this narrative as if you support Palestine, you supporting, terrorists, you supporting, a barbaric torture of people and all that BS, which, we're not pro-Israel and we're not pro-Palestine either, Hey, man, this is the biggest, what's it called? The biggest plot twist ever known to man. You got these people fighting a land that's not theirs, and it really belongs to a third party whom they disregarded long ago. Can you imagine? These people really thinking, they belong in their land. Their families have been there for ages, and here we come on the outside talking about, nah, that's our shit. Who the fuck is you? That's the biggest plot twist, man, and it's beautiful, to see all this take place, man. But tomorrow is Friday the 13th, and usually they have, a lot of things going on that day. It's a very satanic day, so, I pray and hope that something does go down between, these different factions of so-called terrorists, which is all controlled opposition. I hope something goes down, man, a false flag or something, that's going to bring in, more draconian measures, that's going to bring in more tensions in the society so that it could go down. The sooner the better, man, But, today, let's see, hopefully that does take place, man, because brothers, man, we're tired, we weary, we ready to go home, we ready for Jacob's trouble to pop off. So hopefully that does take place, but these things that's happening is, we know, ultimately biblical prophecy, and the scriptures tell us to watch out for those signs. So this is 2 Ezra chapter 9, verse 1. He answered, consider, and this is in a GNTD version, the Good News Translation Bible. It says, he answered me, consider all these things very carefully. When you see that some of the signs I have told you about have appeared, you will know that the time has come when the Most High God will bring judgment on the world he created. Yes, so we know through the signs that the Most High is about to bring judgment, judgment day, man. But he's going to gather all these nations, all their troops and armies in the Middle East to drop hot fire on them, thermonuclear destruction and laser beams coming from the so-called UFOs, the chariots of the Lord. So that's when the Most High will bring judgment on the world that he has created. And what is those signs? Yahushua told us about wars and rumors of wars. Matter of fact, real quick, let me get it. This is Matthew chapter 24, verse 6. It says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. So that's exactly what it is. Israel is about to launch a ground invasion in Gaza, and all these Arab countries, they're calling for each other to band together to basically go against Israel. That's why you got Lebanon and Syria, they're shooting rockets back and forth between them and Israel as we speak. So wars and rumors of wars. And we can't, forget about what's going on between Russia and Ukraine. There's so much happening, man. You can't even really keep up. The U.S., China over there fighting over Taiwan, There's so much going on, man. So these are the signs, man. Wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So, that's a rumor of war, So we're not troubled because we know that's not what's going to bring the actual end. We know the RFID chip has to be made mandatory, the mark of the beast. That has to be implemented. The CBDC implants, they have to be become the norm before the Most High let the seals loose, and that is very soon, man. And by December, you have Iran and Saudi Arabia supposed to join the BRICS. So once they do that, it's going to help cripple the economy even more. So in the next, few months, the war might just keep escalating, man. Or who knows? It might, they said it's already causing turmoils in the stock market, and the different markets. So, it could escalate, in the coming days to the point where it does fuck up the economy and we go right into, a digital system. And then, it's going to set it off, man. But best believe 2024 is going to have a whole different spirit on it, man. The gears is going to switch, man. As every year, things get more and more intense. But 2024, man, that's when they're supposed to have the elections, So a lot is going to take place, man. So it says, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. And that's what we see. And a nation, according to the scriptures, is not a country. A nation is groups of people. Matter of fact, let's see. Yeah, the word there is ethnos. That's where you get ethnicity, right? It says a multitude, whether of men or beasts associated or living together, a company, troop, a swarm, a multitude of individuals of the same nature or genus. So individuals of the same nature. So nation rising against nation is not saying, America is going against, another country. Is basically going into races against races. So the Arabs against the JEWS, which they're Edomites. You have 18 nations in the Bible. So the Most High is going to turn all these nations one against another. So it says kingdom against kingdom. So kingdom of Babylon, America against the kingdom of the Medes, the Russians, Iran, which is the Persian kingdom, all these different nations are, going against each other, man. It says, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. So famines is already happening in many parts of the world. Haiti, they have their famine over there. It's not a full-blown famine, but they got it too. 50% of the population is starving. In parts of Africa, they got famines. And famines is coming to America, man, in a big way. Because it's so easy for, food to, not be access to, in America. Because all depends on the logistics of society. The truckers coming in, bringing in food, which depend on oil, gas. So if the price of gas goes up, then it's not going to be many truckers out there bringing in goods, And if gas goes up, oil goes up, everything goes up. Electricity, the cost of maintenance of everything, food goes up. So that's inflation and hyperinflation, man. We already see inflation hurting the average American household. A lot of us brothers, we hurt right now. You know what I'm saying? But, we have faith that Yahweh Bashim Ashah is going to take us through these different troubles, man. But these people out there, they're about to lose it. You see, they're already losing it over this war that's going on, and they're ready to take each other's heads off. And this is not even times of trouble where you don't have any food to eat. Where you don't got nothing else to lose, man. Where there's total chaos in society. This is what's going to take place, man. So famines and pestilences, they're going to bring more epidemics, and earthquakes in diverse places. So we got earthquakes right now as we speak all over the earth. You got, I think it was Afghanistan, either Afghanistan or Iraq. The same day that the thing happened with Israel, they got hit with an earthquake that killed 2,000 people. And that same day, it was 3 different major earthquakes in 3 different continents, 3 different countries, on the earth. And then what? Like a day or 2 ago, they got hit with another earthquake that just killed a couple hundred more people. That same country, man. So earthquakes in diverse places. It says all these are the beginning of sorrows. So this is the beginning of sorrows, man. You know, motherfuckers, you ain't feel it yet. You know, you about to see bodies left and right, man, on a global scale, billions of people. I was watching this video brother sent, the brother Yashalom here in New York, and it was going into this dude. He was going into this report. I forgot the name of it. It's a UN report, if I'm not mistaken, where they basically predicted back in 2017 the amount, you know, how the population would rise and decrease in different countries. And they showed that by 2025, the Western countries, you know, America, you know, would lose 70% of its population, you know. And then he did the math, and he ends up finding that 70% of the population is the ones that got yabbed up. So, man, you could see how, you know, this space is set up for failure, man. And it shows, you know, I looked through it too myself. It showed that every Western country, they're due to lose about a third of their population. You know, so we about to see massive death out here, man. This is why the scriptures say 1,000 is gonna fall at thy side and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. So, hey, man, Yahweh Shem Yahshua is gonna be with us. So it says, all these are the beginning of sorrows. Now let's go back to 2 Ezra chapter 9, verse 2. It says, you will know that the time has come when the Most High, God Most High, will bring judgment on the world he has created. There will be earthquakes, you know, as we spoke about, national rebellions. So national rebellions, uproars of the people, like it says in the King James. And that's a national rebellion. Those protests that's taking place all over the earth, pro-Israel or pro-Palestine, you know. And tomorrow, you know, later today could be a rebellion, you know, uproar, you know, causing a false flag to take place. And these elites, they got this MO saying what? Never let a good crisis go to waste. So they're going to milk the shit out of this situation, man, to pass many laws and legislations, to bring many different agendas about, you know. And we already know it's a psyop. You know, the Israeli intelligence already acknowledged this was going to take place, but they let it take place anyways, because they're going to take over more lands, you know, from Gaza, you know. They pretty much set off this Third World War. That's what they really want. The scriptures say, the least of the flock shall draw them out, in Jeremiah the 49th chapter, you know, which is the Amalekites. You know, they're the smallest of the Edomites. So they're going to draw out the armies to the Middle East, man. So national rebellions, international intrigues, unstable leaders, and confused rulers. So unstable leaders such as Joe Byron, that's what they call him, you know. He's unstable, man. This man, he don't know where to step foot. Confused as hell, man. You know, but really going into, you know, leaders that's just going to let loose, man. You know. So unstable leaders and confused rulers. You're going to have a lot of leaders, a lot of presidents. They ain't going to know, you know, who to go with, whether to go with Russia, whether to go with America. Some of them is going to be, we just neutral. We just sit back, you know. But now, man, this Third World War, everybody's going to have a hand, man. Even if your country doesn't have a, you know, a big military, well, guess what, man? You know, I believe, just like during World War I and World War II, big nations took advantage of the smaller nations for their resources. So smaller countries, third world countries, Haiti, Jamaica, you know, a lot of them, they're going to have to get different minerals and resources for the Western powers, you know. And a lot of them, they just going to tell the governments they're going to have to give men to go over there to fight in the Middle East, man. You know? So it says, when you see these things happening, you will know that they are what God Most High has spoken about since the beginning of creation. So we know the Most High, he declares the end from the beginning. So these things were written of thousands of years before we was even born, you know? So we know that the Most High exists, man, through those prophecies, because we never seen it on this fashion, man. You know, it says, yeah, that's it on that now. What is it? This is Isaiah chapter 19, verse 2, it says, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. Now, that's talking about, the Most High turning the so-called white man against each other, the right versus the left, liberals and wokes versus conservatives, But, you could say American versus American, no matter what race or group of people they're coming from. The Lord is going to set division. Yahushua said, I am come to set division. I am not come to send peace, but rather division, man. So you got all these people, pray for peace, and no, man, ain't gonna be no peace, man. Scripture say there's no peace to the wicked, man. So we're gonna see households turn against each other, races turn against each other, people of the same kind turn against each other, different. Hey, man, it's gonna be class wars. The whole world is gonna turn upside down, man. So it says, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother and everyone against his neighbor, city against city and kingdom against kingdom. So they're going to fight one against another, man. Your neighbor down the block, watch out for him. It's going to be dog eat dog world out there, man. A kingdom against kingdom, So different, you're going to have just like during World War I and World War II, the axis of evil and the axis of powers. So a nation's going to have to either line up with Russia and the BRICS or line up with America. And it's looking like a lot of them, most of them might just join the BRICS because it's more beneficial. They haven't really been oppressed by Russia and, the Chinese, and their economy is better, So it says, and the spirit of Egypt shall fall in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. Yeah, so the Lord is going to destroy the counsel. It's not going to be any way out of this, these judgments that's coming. They're not going to be able to push back the judgments. Like they're able to push back the government shutdown. Well, they ain't going to be able to push back the prophecies of the Lord, man. The scriptures say the prophecies are like an arrow that is shot of a mighty archer, and they're not going to return. So they're not going to be able to sit down and have press conferences. No, man, people are going to want blood. It says, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to the wizards. So they're going to, they're going to try to go to church. We're going to see a lot of people turn spiritual, man. Motherfuckers that even care about existence of a God, turn completely religious. Or people that wasn't, going to church as much, you're going to see them turn religious, man. And we're going to see a lot of our people come, try to join the camps, join the camps, which, a lot of them is going to be the elect. But, we know Jake is full of shit, man. Jake only wants to get right once they see shit go down. But everybody going to want to seek to idols and charmers and to them that have familiar spirits. They're going to go to tarot readers, so-called people that deal with familiar spirits, magicians and all that bullshit, because they're not going to have any balm for their pain. They're not going to have any comfort. They're going to lose faith. Scripture say, when the Son of Man cometh, shall he find faith on the earth? It says, verse 4, and the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord, Yahweh Shem Shah, power of hosts. So Yahweh Shah, he's a fierce king, and guess what? He controls the kings of the earth. So the Lord is going to set up, a king of Babylon that's going to bring forth draconian legislatures, man. Joe Biden, he's already done that. Trump did that. Obama did that. So they all follow the same agenda, man. So whoever comes next into power, whether it be Trump or somebody else, I do hope it's Trump, so he could bring about the end. He could be that last trumpet, what I'm saying? So, so the Lord said, a fierce king shall rule over himself, the Lord of hosts. It says, and the waters shall fail from the sea, and the rivers shall be wasted and dried up. Yeah, so you got the river Euphrates, it's already dried up, and you can look that up. And it's preparing for the way for the kings of the east, for the different nations to gather over there in the valley of Jehoshaphat, But this is really going into, the Lord is going to bring droughts, and eventually he's going to dry up all the waters of America with the missiles, man. It says, and they shall turn the rivers far away, and the brooks of defense shall be emptied and dried up. The reeds and flags shall wither. Yeah, you're seeing more droughts now because they're saying it's the hottest year on record and all this global warming bullshit they're bringing about, to really cause population, depopulation, man. But that's it on that. Now let's go to Second Ezra, chapter 13. Verse, I'm going to start 30. It says, at that time, everyone will be close to panic. They will begin to make war against one another, city against city, region against region, nation against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. So there you go. All these different factions of people are going to band one against another. And it's going to be a civil war in America eventually too, man. You might have during the election, they might steal the election again, and people get so fed up where they join Trump and go against, the Republicans versus the Democrats, because you got to think about it. The elites, they want total chaos in order to bring in the order, which is going to be martial law and the implementation of a digital, ID, digital currency. This is what they want, man. But in order to do that, they have to cause total chaos. It says when that happens, the signs I told you about earlier will take place. And then I will reveal my son whom you saw as a man coming out of the sea. Yeah, so after all this take place, Yahweh Shah is going to come, and add more fuel to the fire. And at the end of it, he's going to come down from the chariots, after he delivers his elect. And he's going to order them, to go over the earth and enslave, different nations, man. To go grab the kings of the earth from their bunkers and grab up our servants that's going to clean up the land of Israel after it gets destroyed and build us our kingdom, man. It says, when they hear his voice, all the nations will leave their own territory, forget their wars with one another, and come together in one great crowd, too large to count, as you saw in your dream. So that's going in the midst of World War III. When Yahweh Shah makes his grand appearance with the angels, the so-called UFOs, the ships, that they all going to band together. Like Ronald Reagan had a speech, where he said, wouldn't we all, if suppose there was a threat of an outer force or outer power, wouldn't we all put our differences aside and join to fight that force? So he knew about this prophecy, man. That's why they have the Space Force. They're going to forget the fact that they're warring, in World War III. You're going to have Israeli, Palestinian, and Arabs and, Chinese and North Korean and Vietnamese and Australian and Canadian, American. All these nations, they're going to band their forces together to try to fight against Yahweh Shah. It says, the nations will unite with the single purpose of making war on my son, which shows that Yahweh Shah is all throughout the scriptures, man, and that the Apocrypha is valid, because it do say in Revelation, the 12th chapter, that Michael is going to fight against the dragon and his angel, which is going into the Space Force of, America, NATO, and the EU. They're going to join forces to fight against Michael and the angels, the ships, the chariots coming from the heavens, But yeah, that's pretty much it on that. The point is, hey, man, more chaos is coming, and, keep an eye out for today. And let's see how, things go down. But, if nothing happens, then Lord's will, these coming weeks, could get more hectic, man. Shalom.